So today, I'm pretty sure that I saved my life. Let me tell you guys this story. So I was going to the store and I don't know how to drive yet. Like, I don't have my license and no one could take me. So I had to take an Uber. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take an Uber there, shop, take one back. It's all good and dandy. And so I call the driver on my Uber app and the driver confirms, and I see the photo of the guy who's picking me up. And almost like immediately, like my body, I just got this sensation of like just weird, dark energy from this man. And I've really learned to trust my instincts because I've had situations where, like, literally my friend will send me a photo of some guy that she's talking to. And I remember in one specific case, I was like, this man is literally giving me demonic energy. And he ended up being, a very scary person. So I was like, I'm going to trust myself, right? And I'm going to, like, still go into the situation. Like, I'm not going to cancel my Uber. I still need to go to the store. But of course, like, I'll be on guard a bit. And so he comes and he picks me up. And as soon as he sees me, like, body language wise, like, he just starts going crazy. Like, he's blinking super fast. His body is literally like twitching. And I get in the car. I'm like, okay, it's literally like a 10-minute drive. You know, what's the worst that can happen? It's gonna be fine. We're in the car, we're driving. I have my headphones on because I'm like, I just want to have as little interaction as possible. And he's still acting super weird. Like, he keeps on, like, he's like driving the car, he was like turning back and like looking at me. And I'm just like, sir, please focus on the road. Like, please focus on the road. And he keeps on, like, trying to talk to me, like, oh yeah, look at these cows, look at this farm, all that stuff, and I'm not gonna be rude because, if someone is unstable, like, being rude to them is not a good idea. And also, I realize this is something that I do, subconsciously. Like, when I talk to people, right, like, I'm trying to connect with them. And, he was speaking Arabic. I know a little bit of Arabic. Um, and, we were just kind of like talking. And eventually, um, we got to the place, we got to the store. And he's like, oh, you know what? I can actually take you home too. And at this point, like, I was like starting to feel really weird because now we're just sitting in the parking lot, like, we're just in the car. And he's like, oh, I can take you home too. And I was like, oh, really? I was like, oh, like, that's really nice, like, for you to offer me, because he would literally be, very likely losing other customers, losing money, because he's gonna have to wait for me to shop, which is gonna be like 30 minutes. And then, then he can drive me back, but it's like, it's not worth it. Like monetarily wise, it's not worth it. And I'm so thankful. I literally thank God so much that I literally, was watching Diary of a CEO a few days before, about body language and about protecting yourself and the importance of trusting yourself. The importance of trusting yourself, the importance of trusting your gut, and the fact that, your gut literally is, the thing that kept so much of our ancestors alive, right? Like, the humans who had the best guts and the best gut instincts were the ones who survived the most. And that's how we're here. So our gut is literally like refined from thousands of years. And so I'm really happy that I watched that video because, of course, my immediate response to my gut instinct, which was, this guy is weird, was, oh no, don't judge people. But then I was like, no, 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 let me actually, like, start to inquire why my first instinct is, this guy is weird. And I thought back to a conversation that I'd had with my brother where he was telling me about this book called Thinking Fast and Slow, which I definitely want to read. And essentially what he was talking about was how, you have your subconscious and your conscious brain. And your subconscious brain, which, is related to things such as your gut instincts, it's processing information so much faster at such a faster rate compared to your conscious brain. Okay, so I'm in the conversation with this guy, and so at this point we're like negotiating price, and I was just like, yeah, this is so weird, right? And then he's like, I was like, okay, wait. I was like, okay, if you want to take me back, put it in the Uber app. I was like, I gave him my phone. I was like, I didn't know how to do it. I tried to do it. I couldn't do it. I was like, please put it into the Uber app. He kind of like flails around a bit, and then he's like, it's not possible. Just pay me in cash. Disclaimer, it is possible. Like, I figured out how to do it. But once he said pay me in cash, like a red flag went off in my head, because the first thing that I thought about was Ozarks, right? And Ozarks is one of my favorite TV shows in the world. Highly recommend. It's basically about this guy, Marty Byrde, played by Jason Bateman, chef's kiss, amazing actor, and his family. And he is a money launderer for the Mexican drug cartel. The important part about why I thought about this show is because in money laundering, like the number one asset that you want to be dealing with is cash, because cash is untraceable. And so as soon as he said cash, my brain went to Ozarks, and I was like, okay, if I pay him in cash, that means it's going to be untraceable. The transaction can be untraceable. That means for 10 to 15 minutes, no one is going to know where I am, right? Because now with the Uber app, Uber is tracking me. If anything happens, like people will know. And so I'm starting to get like more weirded out now, and he's starting to get like more aggressive with me in the conversation. And it's like weird because I'm like going through all of this mentally while I'm like consciously engaging with the conversation with him. And then my brain goes back to a few weeks earlier, when I was like sitting at my aunt's house, and on the news they were talking about like, yeah, another girl in this place was like raped by her Uber driver and killed, and all of this stuff. And I remember when I was watching it, like, of course, you like, a lot of people think, oh, that could never happen to me. I really try not to have that mindset, but of course it's something that's so distant from you that like you don't really see a situation like that and then see yourself in that situation. Like, it seems like a distant situation. And so as soon as I get that flashback to that news channel, I'm like, okay, this is why I'm thinking that he's weird, because just all of the behaviors that I was seeing before, and then now he's trying to get me to go back. Like, he's what you would think would be against his own best interest. He's gonna lose money, he's gonna do all of this stuff just to have the opportunity to take me back home. And again, no one is going to be able to trace me for these 10 to 15 minutes that I'm in this man's car. And at this point I was like, I have enough reasons in my head as to why I'm like, no. Because best case scenario, it's just going to be a very uncomfortable car ride home, and worst case scenario, like, I literally could lose my life. And I know that sounds dramatic, and in the moment I was also thinking, oh, like, maybe you're overreacting a bit. But then this is what kind of changed my opinion. So after I realized, like, oh no, like, I'm not going to do that, like, that's just not a smart decision or a safe decision to do, I tell him, I'm like, actually, no, it's okay, thank you, I'll call a different Uber back. And he starts getting mad, and he starts like trying to guilt trip me and saying like, oh, I was just trying to help you. Oh, but if you want to like spend all that money, if you want to have to wait, like, you can do that. Like, I'm just trying to be helpful. I'm just trying to be a nice guy. And trying to guilt trip me. And that's when I knew for sure that my gut was right. And I made the right decision rejecting his offer, because like, the fact that he tried to guilt me, that shows me that his intentions weren't good. Because if he actually had pure intentions for me, and I'm sure he could tell I was uncomfortable, if he had pure intentions for me, as soon as I said, oh, it's okay, no thank you, cool, end of discussion. But the fact that you try to pressure me and make me feel bad about it shows me that there is something that you are going to get out of the situation by me being alone with you, untraceable for however much time it ends up being. And also, again, in terms of just body language and, you know, listening to my gut and listening to my body. My body, it was like the way that this man was staring at me, like, especially when we were in the parking lot, was so scary. Like, it was so scary. Like, the only thing that I can think about that even relates to it is, like, you know, in these childhood Disney movies, like, it's not even like the super villain, but it's like the super villain's henchman who is like, you know, he was like hunched over, he was just like staring at me, but it was just like, I could tell that he wanted to like harm me. Like, I could tell that he wanted to get something from me and it would not be from my best interest, you know. And just like, as soon as I got out of that car, I was like, wow. Like, I realized immediately, like, okay, I just evaded very likely a potentially unsafe situation. And then what even put the cherry on top is, as soon as I got out of the car, he like ran away as soon as possible. And, you know, just as a day has gone on, I've just been thinking, and I'm like, you know, that's such a dangerous situation that I just avoided. Like, I literally saved my own life, you know, because I could have easily ended up as one of those girls. And, you know, other people, they'd be sitting at their aunt's house watching on TV as, you know, my face would be popping up and they'd be reading the story out. And they just look at the TV and be like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. Back to my phone, and life goes on. One thing that I'm really, really grateful for growing up, moving around, and, you know, being in like diplomatic settings and being raised as a diplomat is because you're constantly like aware of security. You're constantly taught to question people, to question people's motives, to question what people want with you, because, you know, you are a target. And I think that in some ways, you know, it is a bit overwhelming as a child, right, developing this mindset. But the thing is like, it's so helpful, and it really, like, it saves you from so many situations. I'm gonna make a video also about, you know, the importance of like being safe, and the importance of questioning people and keeping people at like arm's distance, especially when you don't know them. Because you don't know people, you don't know people's motives, you don't know people's past, you don't know what people are capable of, you don't know what people's intentions are with you. And I think also a lot of the time in society, I think also as women, you know, we're kind of taught to not really trust ourselves. We're taught that our instincts are us being like over emotional or something like this. But guys, again, and this is for everybody, like, your instincts, your gut has kept all of your ancestors alive. So maybe you should start listening to it. If you feel like a situation is off, if you feel like somebody is weird, and not weird in terms of, oh, like, they, I don't know, they skateboard, they're weird or something like this. Not like in a superficial way, but like weird as in this is not normal. Guys, listen. Please listen. Like, please listen. You know, when you go everywhere, you don't feel weird, right? Like, when you meet people, you don't always feel this weird feelings towards people. The word is called weird for a reason, you know, because it's not common. And so when you feel that way with someone, question why. You know, there's a lot of crazy people in this world. We're all a little bit crazy, but there's different extents, okay? And, you know, we have to protect ourselves. Like, we have to protect ourselves. Like, you know, the story earlier today, my life could have ended very differently. I could not be sitting here. Anyways, guys, in conclusion, please trust yourself. Please trust your gut. Please, you know, don't shut your emotions down. When you feel something, question it. and ask yourself, why am I feeling this, right? Because your body doesn't lie. That's the thing. Your body doesn't lie. Your brain does, okay? So, if anything, question your brain. Question, why did I just ignore my body? Why did I just shut myself down, you know? Um yeah, but I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope that you guys are out there staying safe. Please, please just be careful out there because some people are crazy. Bye.